gonna go ahead and get started. My name is Kathryn. For those of you who I don't know, I'm so happy to have you here wherever you are. And I'm really happy that we can all be together this evening. Just a quick note, due to an injury, I'm not going to be demoing very much at all. So if you're somebody who's maybe a little less familiar with our practice, maybe scroll through, find someone who's on video right now, who maybe you can glance at here and there. But I hope that my words will be pretty sufficient for most of us. Do take the time right now as well, if you can check to make sure that your computer is muted. And if you choose, you can open up your video. That's really cool. I can see what your body is doing in space, might call you out too. If you prefer to be anonymous though, of course, you can go ahead and just turn off that, that video portion. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. If you would come into a child's pose, please. Also feel free, if you have some music that you'd like to play, you can go ahead and turn that on now. And then we'll settle into a child's pose. So simply, that's your hips to your heels. It's your forehead down towards the mat. And then go ahead and place your arms in a position that are comfortable for you. For many, that's reaching the arms out long in front of you, feeling some openness along the sides of the body. For some of us, that might mean the arms back by your sides though, turning the palms to face up. And wherever you are, whatever shape you've taken, if you could, close your eyes. Start to lengthen and deepen your inhales. Start to slow down and smooth out your exhales. And just start to notice what the breath starts to bring up for you. For many of us who are feeling a little less than calm or maybe a little bit stressed lately, you might also notice that you've been breathing really shallow all day long. So notice if you can now start to ask the breath to take up a little more of your body. What would it be like to breathe a bit more down into your belly? A little more up into the chest and shoulders. Could you feel your breath spreading into the space between your shoulder blades? Could you get it to go all the way down into your belly and your lower back? And then here with Yoga to the People, we really are committed to this idea that if we can hear our breath, we're probably a bit more likely to feel our breath. And if we can feel that breath, we're more likely to stay connected to it throughout the whole practice. So if you would now, just exhale all the air out, feel your lungs cleared and empty. And then inhale together a nice full breath. And exhale on an HA. One more time, full breath in. And this time, exhale, HM. Last time, nice full deep breath. And let it go however you wish. Beautiful. Go ahead, gently rock your forehead on the mat, a little side to side. Maybe start to let your hips sway across your heels from side to side. And then if you would, come up to all fours, please, your hands and knees. So placing the hands here right underneath the shoulder, separate your knees a little bit so they're right underneath your hips. And we'll start to find some movement in our spine. So with the inhale, arch your back, look up towards the ceiling, drop your belly down. As you exhale, round the spine, look down towards your tummy, tuck the tail under. Again, inhale, arching the back, looking up, shoulders drop down and away from the ears. And then exhale, rounding your back, tucking in the chin, pulling the pelvis underneath you. One more time, big inhale. How much can you arch that back? How much can you look up? And big exhale. How much can you round it out, curl it out as you look down? A few more times, follow the rhythm of your own breath here. You can continue with these simple cat-cow tilts. But if you'd like to add something, yeah, maybe it's swaying your tail from side to side. Maybe it's rolling into the shoulders. Maybe you can just close your eyes and follow what feels good inside of your body. Yeah, really nice. Great. From here, go ahead and find yourself back in that tabletop position. So hands under shoulders and knees underneath your hips. Feel your spine really long now, like you were trying to kind of stand your top of the head at the wall in front of you and reach your tailbone to the wall back behind you. From here, please extend your right arm forward, stretch your left leg back. We move into a little bit of spinal balancing. The key here is not how high can you lift your arm and your leg, but rather how long can you reach your arm and leg away from one another. Good. If you start to notice that your low back is kind of crunching and dumping, yeah, draw your navel into your spine for a little bit of support. Notice the warmth starting to build. It is intentional. Take one more breath to stretch yourself long, and then exhale, connect the hand and the foot back down. Good. We'll try it on the other side. So inhaling the left arm forward, exhaling the right leg long back behind you. And really normal for there to be a couple of little wiggles and wobbles as your body is just looking to find a sense of balance here. Try and start to release any unnecessary tension. So ungrip your jaw, soften in the neck, maybe even spread the fingers wide rather than fisting them up. Take one more deep breath, and then go ahead and settle it back down. Good. From here, please curl your toes under, stretch your hips up and back, and let's take our first downward facing dog. So very roughly, it's just an upside down V shape. Your hips are creating the top of that V, your head and hands at the bottom, your feet at the bottom. Take a few moments here just to move in a way that feels really nice. So bend your knees a few times, right and left, maybe bend both knees together. You can nod your head a couple of times gently on its hinge. Good. And then we'll start to find our way into some stillness, cleaning up this shape. So in down dog, those hands about shoulders width in distance, spread your fingertips open really wide. Feel yourself pressing the floor away from you rather than sinking or collapsing down into the floor. Your hips are stretching up and back. Try to keep a nice straight spine. If your back is really rounded here, bend your knees quite a lot until you can get your back straight. In down dog, it's much more important that you have a straight spine. You'll get straight knees with time. Heels are looking and stretching down towards the floor. With every inhale, hips lift up and back. With every exhale, heels fall down a little heavier. Let's together bend both knees, look forward, and now walk to the front of your mat. Hang heavy when you get there in a forward fold. You can separate your feet a little bit if that makes you feel more secure. Go ahead and bend the knees quite a lot and really just let yourself hang out for a moment. Notice the anticipation inside of the body, the sense of where am I going now? Allow yourself to be here. Allow yourself to be still. On your next inhale, we find a half lift. Fingers can come to the shins or thighs. Flatten out that spine, long neck as well. Trying here to think of drawing the navel in and the shoulders away from ears. With your exhale, fall heavy, forward fold. And then with your next breath, let's come all the way up to standing, Tadasana, mountain pose. So inhaling the arms all the way up overhead and arriving standing tall. Take a moment if you can to allow your eyes to close. And once again, just be in this space. Feel bones stacking one on top of the other, muscles hugging around those bones. Breath still going inside of you here. With an inhale, turn the gaze up towards your fingertips. Reach up towards the sky. Reach gently back. And then exhale, forward fold. Dive to your toes. Good. With an inhale, let's take a half lift. Long spine, flat back once again. Exhale, place your palms down. Step your feet back. And let's pause in a plank position. Stack yourself wisely so the muscles don't have to work so hard. Shoulders right on top of the wrists, hips and shoulders about the same height. If this feels too strenuous, drop your knees down to the floor to modify. Inhale as you push the mat away. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower yourself halfway. Inhale, heart comes forward and up. Upward facing dog, shoulders roll down your back. Exhale, curl the toes under, and we return downward facing dog. Long, slow breath in, long, slow breath out. Let's move through that same sequence a little more swiftly. So go ahead, bend your knees, look forward, step or if you wish, jump to the top of your mat. Inhale right into your half lift, and exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, come all the way to standing. Continuous breath reaches you to a backward bend. Exhale as you dive down towards your toes. Inhale, lift your heart, halfway lift. Exhale, palms to the mat, step or jump your feet back and right into your flow. It's high push up to low push up. Inhale, find your upward facing dog, untuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog, heels towards the floor. One more time, bend those knees, gaze forward, make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, linking your halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, big breath, draws you up to standing, carries you into backward bend. Maybe as you exhale, HA, dive for toes. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, hands down, step or jump it back, and move right into your flow. You might be noticing here the heart rate has increased, the breath rate has increased. These are all signs of the change that you came here for. Let's inhale now, reach your right leg up and back behind you. Take a moment with square hips, so that means your right big toe points down to the floor. Press actively through the palms and reach long through that right heel. Take one more big breath. Now exhale, change the shape. Bend your right knee, roll open from the hip. Maybe circle your ankle around a little bit or spread the toes wide. Really, the movement here is up to you. Let yourself be creative. Let yourself have a little fun. Go ahead and square off your hips. Inhale, reach your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your right foot all the way forward between your hands. Drop your left knee down to the floor and untuck your left toes. Hands rise to the top of the right thigh for a low lunge. Good. In this low lunge, use your hands on the top of that thigh. Push down to lift your chest up. Think of pushing a little forward and lean your chest slightly back. You want to be experiencing this nice gentle stretch running down the front of your left hip and thigh. Perfectly lovely to keep your hands here, but if you're looking for some more, I invite you to reach your arms over your head. Noticing here the tendency to sink and crunch in your low back. Can you keep that sense of lifting tall, like you're pulling your ribs out of your waistband? So nice. At the end here, let's look up towards the fingertips, reach up. Exhale, release 2 hands down to the floor. Keep your left hand down and then inhale your right hand up for a spinal twist. Yeah. Feel your left shoulder moving forward and in towards your right knee. Pull your right hip just a little bit back to keep the hips square. If your neck allows, gaze up towards the right fingers at the end. Exhale, 2 hands down. Look to the top of your mat, curl back toes under, and step your left foot forward, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold heavy. Stand your feet to hips width, have 10 toes point forward. With your next inhale, it's a chair pose. So sink your hips down, reach your chest and arms high. Lovely. Check in with your alignment. Big toes point forward, knees guide directly with those toes. The weight is back in your heels, almost so far back that you feel like you could almost fall over. Reach strong and long through those arms, maybe guiding the biceps a little towards the ears. And now notice, has your breath started to get reactive? Has your mind started to move really fast? Can you come back to slow, responsive breathing? Can you choose to stay? Take one more breath, sit into what you've got, reach tall, and exhale, forward fold. Good. Let's take one more spinal twist here. Right hand to the mat, left hand to the sky. Bend your right knee as much as you need to. Beautiful. Feel like shoulders are stacked on top of one another. On your exhale, left hand to the mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine, half lift. Then exhale, 2 hands down. Step or jump your feet back. Come on into your flow. Beautiful. We link up into the left side. So with your inhale, glide your left leg up and back. Feel for a moment what it is to have the knee straight, to have the hips square, to have that left foot flexing hard, toes towards the floor. Take one more breath in that. Now exhale, change it. It's your own. A few moments to play and move and feel really good. On your inhale, stretch the left leg high up and back. And then as you exhale, go ahead, step the foot all the way through. Drop your right knee down, untuck the right toes, and then hands will come up to the top of the left thigh. Good. When you start to rub up against some resistance in your yoga postures, can you come back to that slow, calm way of breathing that we found in child's pose? So notice where the hip might be tight. Can you even imagine sending breath into that tightness? Lengthen tall through that crown of the head. And if you choose, reach the arms up. One more breath. Let's look up, reach up, maybe a slight back bend. And then exhale, 2 hands down. They frame your front foot. Leave the right hand down. Inhale, left hand high, spinal twisting. If for any reason the neck does not like looking up towards the left fingers, you can look straight ahead. You can even look down towards your right hand. Strive to pull that left hip just a little more back and in. So the twist is coming more from that middle part of your spine. Really good. Inhale. Exhale, left hand down, curl your back toes under and step yourself to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the feet this time to touch, toes and heels together all the way. Inhale, come into your chair pose, hips low, arms up high. So just a little difference now that we have a slightly narrower base. Notice how the body responds, how it reacts here. Is it a little easier for some? Probably. A little harder for others? Probably. See if you can stay inside of the work, and instead of judging it, can you just live the experience of it? Feel, could your weight go a little back towards your heels? Could your hips sink a little bit lower? Could your face soften just a bit here? Take one more breath and exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and separate your feet back to hips width so that we can take the left hand down, reach the right hand up, spinal twisting. Yeah, you can let that left knee bend as much as you wish here. Getting a little bit of a stretch through the right IT band as well. Exhale as you release that forward fold. Inhale, long spine halfway lift. Exhale, two hands down, step or jump it back, move. High to low push up, upward facing and downward facing dog. Brilliant. With your next inhale, let's slide the right leg up and back. As you exhale, now step that foot all the way forward between your two hands. Keep the back heel lifted, so all 10 toes are pointing forward. Now inhale, press through your feet and rise high, crescent lunge. Yeah, it's a little bit of a wiggly one. You might find yourself struggling for balance. If the balance is really tricky here, make sure your feet are at least hips within distance. If you're standing on a tightrope, the balance is so much more challenging. Check out the back foot, try and get all those toes pointing forward and lift your back heel really high up off the floor. Good for you. Soften once again into the right knee. We're looking to have that right thigh one day parallel to the mat. Now, easy does it. A lot of you are holding yourselves up from your shoulders and your jaw. Find some calm here if you can. Really good. Take an inhale, stretch up tall towards the sky. Then with your exhale, let's find warrior two. So right arm reaches forward, left arm reaches back, and your back heel spins down to the floor. You can take a moment and kind of adjust your feet, taking a bigger step or a more narrow step, that's fine. Feel your chest opening towards the left side of your mat. Feel your right knee guiding in line with your right big toe. And notice the slight inward spiral of your back left thigh as the left pinky toe presses down into the floor. Now, close your eyes. Give yourself permission just to be, just to breathe. We don't have to wait for our yoga shapes to become perfect looking in order for them to become wonderful in feeling. Can you lean into what feels good? The strength of your body, the length of your spine, the softness in the way that you breathe. You don't have to wait for it to be perfect. It already is perfect. Eyes can be open or closed. Flip your right hand to face the sky. Reach your fingertips up, over and back. It's a reverse warrior. Left hand here can slide down the left leg if you need some support and stability. Some of us might start to wind the left arm behind the back. Wherever you are, keep your right knee bent, please. Stay low into that lunge. There we are. Take one more breath to feel the stretch through your whole right side. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands to the floor. Step your right foot back into a plank. And then it's your vinyasa, high to low push-up, upward facing, downward facing dog. All right, let's keep our body moving. Inhale, left leg lifts up and back. Exhale, use your abs. Step your left foot between your hands. Back heel is lifted. Keep your 10 toes pointing forward. Now press through your feet to rise high. High lunge. Good. Good. When you wiggle, have a sense of humor about it. Most of us, if we practice yoga long enough, will wiggle at some point. It's okay. See if you can choose to sink a little lower in your lunge. Often that actually helps us by lowering our center of gravity. Feel the back heel lifted high and see if you can squeeze that right butt cheek just a little firmer. Yeah, it will help to align your pelvis. Take a breath, reach long through those arms. Now exhale to warrior two. Back heel kisses down to the floor. Two arms are reaching long away from one another, and left knee is guiding in the same direction as your left big toe. Good. And once you're in that shape, you close your eyes when you feel like you can. You come on back into that slow, conscious inhale and exhale. Everything from the waist down stays the same. Flip your left palm to face the sky. Reach those fingers forward, up, over, and back. Reverse warrior primarily is a sideways bend. So think about shining your rib cage or your armpit up towards the ceiling. Feel that length and stretch through your left ribs without crunching or sinking down onto your right side. Take a final breath as you reach your edge and exhale. Cartwheel your hands down, step back, high to low flow. This time, as you connect back into downward facing dog, we'll go ahead and exhale the breath all the way. Inhale, full deep inhale. And exhale, HA. Go ahead and flow now on your own. One breath, one movement, from high lunge to warrior two to reverse warrior. If you prefer, you can replace the high lunge with a warrior one. That's totally your choice. And really, this whole practice is totally your choice. So if there's something that doesn't apply to your body, you leave it out. If there's something your body loves, you can linger inside of it. Can you just start to move according to the way that your body breathes, according to the way that your body feels? And if you happen to glance up at the computer, you'll probably see someone's a little further ahead than you. Someone's a little further behind. There's no right rhythm, tempo, way. It's just your way. Listen to that guiding voice of your breath. If you are flowing, continue flowing. If you found your way back to down dog a little before the rest of us and you can maintain your breath, stay. Of course, if you need a break, child's pose is still there for you. It always is. You can always choose to rest in child's pose if that's what your body is calling for. Let's together now look forward and step to the front of your mat, or jump if you wish. Inhale, take a half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Great. This time with your feet together and toes and heels touching, come right back into that chair, hips low and arms high. Great. From here, shift the weight over into your left leg and see if you can take your right heel up onto the top of the left thigh. So we're in a seated figure four stretch. Good. From here, two hands come down to the center of your heart. Try and stay sitting nice and low on that leg. If you wish, you can start to forward fold, beginning to bring your elbows down towards your leg. Some of us might have an arm balance here. If you've got it, you can place your hands down. Otherwise, go ahead and start to lift your chest upright once again. And then release, 2 feet side by side, reach the arms up nice and high. And exhale, bend your knees, sit down low once again. Good. This time you'll shift your weight over to the opposite side. Pick the heel up high on top of the thigh, left thigh, good. And then keep bending your left knee. You'll feel the lower that you sit down, actually the easier the balance will be. Hands coming down to heart center, then starting to fold from the waist. Maybe your elbow will touch your knee. Maybe your hands will find the floor. Maybe, hopefully not, your face will find the floor. Slowly, gently, hands to heart center, bring your body upright once again. And then release your feet side by side. Good, 2 feet together, reach those arms up nice and high, gaze up, maybe slight back bend. And exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, step your feet back, pause, upper push-up plank. Good. From here, bring your 2 heels together and then roll onto your right hand and the outside edge of your right foot for a side plank, side arm balance. Left hand will reach up towards the sky. If you need to modify, bring your right knee down to the mat. If you wish to amplify, you can float your left leg up in the sky, reach your left arm over your ear, or maybe reach down for your left big toe and kick it away. Most advanced of all, can you put a little smile on your face here? Take one more deep breath and come on back to your upper push-up plank. 2 hands, 2 feet on the floor, find this solid base, and then roll on over to the left hand, outside edge of the left foot. Heels can be stacked or a knee can drop down. Try and hike those hips just a little higher, most of us, so that our hips and shoulders are still in the same line. If you'd like to take an arm up, a leg over, or reach down for your big toe, now's the time. And release, come on back to your upper push-up plank. Full breath in, press the floor away. Exhale, lower and flow. Let's meet with a breath. Exhale all the air. Full inhale. And exhale, HA. All right. Take your next inhale. Glide your right leg up and back, please. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Turn the left heel down to the floor. Now sweep your arms along your sides for a power lunge. Good. So our torso is hovering on top of the front thigh. Our arms along our sides, almost like angel's wings. Try and turn those palms to face down towards your mat. This will roll your chest a little bit more open. Reach the fingertips up a little higher, a little closer together. Now interlace your fingers and draw your knuckles to the back of your mat. Stay low with your chest and exhale both arms out long in front of you. Press firmly down for your left heel and inhale up to your warrior one. Gorgeous. Take a moment, square your hips, your shoulders a little bit more towards the front of your mat as you feel your left heel press down firmly to the floor. Take a breath in this shape, and now let's change it. Warrior two, right arm forward, left arm back. Beautiful. From here, flip that right palm once again, reach the arm up, over, and back. Take your reverse warrior. And then with your exhale, let's all bring right elbow to the top of the right thigh. Left arm over the left ear for a supported side angle. Excellent. Feel here the rotation of your upper back, the way that your right ribs are tucking underneath your left ribs. Your left ribs are reaching up towards the sky. Beautiful to stay right here, or if you choose, float your right arm long as well. A little more intensity through the abs, through the spine. Take a final deep breath in and exhale, return to warrior two. Arms are parallel to the floor, right knee is bent. Inhale, exhale, squeeze your right leg straight. You have two straight legs. Now reach your right hand way forward and then down to your shin, ankle, or the floor for a triangle pose. Yeah, don't worry about how low your right hand is going. You can have your right hand even just under or even above your right knee. What I want you to feel is that two legs remain straight and that you've got a nice long line from your head through your chest, through your hips. So most of you, push your hips a little forward towards the left side of your mat and lean your chest a little back towards the right side of your mat. There you are. Inhale as you gaze up towards your left fingertips. And then exhale, squeeze yourself back up to your warrior two. Good. Sit low into the right leg. One more chance. Deep breath. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Step all the way back to plank and take your flow. Beautiful work. Inhale, our left leg lifts. Exhale, we step the foot all the way through. Back heel down to the floor. Float your arms along your sides. Find your power lunge. Good. And as you enter this moment that's maybe a little more challenging than we want it to be, can you breathe and feel in a way that's responsive, in a way that is sure that this will also pass, in a way that is sure that you are doing and laying down the groundwork to be stronger for the challenges tomorrow. Palms are facing the mat, reach the hands a little higher. Now go ahead and interlace the fingers behind you. As your knuckles go back, your chest lengthens forward. Keep your torso where it is and exhale both arms out long in front. Feel that power from fingertips to the back heel and inhale, lift up, warrior one. Take a moment, it's our first time in warrior one. Really settle into that shape. Your hips squaring forward, your chest and ribs squaring forward. Two arms reaching tall towards the sky. Inhale and exhale, warrior two. Open it up, a little bit more familiar shape now. Let's flip the left palm, reach the fingertips up, over, and back. And then with your exhale, left elbow comes down to the top of the left thigh, right bicep over the ear for a supported side angle. Notice if your butt's kind of sticking out behind you, go ahead and draw your hips underneath your body. Great. Choice to stay or to reach the left arm long. Inhale, roll that right shoulder a little open. And exhale, lift yourself back up to warrior two. Once again, your left leg will straighten. Inhale, reach forward and then down for your triangle pose. Good. Keep a sense of your hips trying to move towards the back edge of your mat and your head trying to move towards the front edge of your mat. Beautiful. How far can you get those 2 points away from one another? Again, if the neck allows, you're looking towards the right fingertips, but if that's inappropriate for your neck, totally great to look down towards your left shoulder instead. With your next inhale, squeeze yourself back up to warrior two. Take one more moment to sit deep into that lunge. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands all the way down to the floor. Step back, high to low flow. Smooth, long breath in. Smooth, long breath out. Bend both knees, please. Gaze forward. Step or lightly jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, take a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Feel that heaviness, that softness. This time, let's inhale and roll up to standing. Head lifts last. Good. With your inhale, sweep the arms over your head. Listen carefully. Bring your left elbow under your right elbow. Cross at your elbows and then at your wrists for eagle wrap arms. Bend both of your knees and sit down nice and low. Lift your left leg up over your right leg, crossing high at the thighs for your eagle wrap. Really nice, everybody. You might have a double wrap where the toes tuck behind your calf, but you might only have a single wrap. That's okay. Squeeze those thighs together tight. Please make sure that it's your left leg that's on top. Sink a little bit lower down. Lift that chest up tall. Now exhale, start to fold at the waist, bringing your elbows down towards your left knee. Focus on one spot on the floor that is not moving. Now unravel your left leg and send it straight back behind you. Everything parallel to the floor from your head to your tiptoes. Unravel your arms and take them long by your sides, those angel wings. With an inhale, 2 arms out long in front of you, just one deep breath. And exhale, sit all the way back to a high lunge. So we've stepped back to high lunge. Left leg is behind, right leg is in front. If you ended up somewhere else, it's totally okay. Inhale, reach tall, and exhale, hands down to heart center. Beautiful. Inhale, puff up that chest. Now twist. Left elbow over your right knee for a prayer twist lunge. If the balance is getting really wonky, you can always put your back knee down on the floor and take this twist here. If you'd like to move deeper into the pose, a flyaway or a bind may be accessible to you here. Just stay connected to that breath. On your next inhale, come back to center, chest lifted, hands at the heart. And exhale, place 2 hands down. Listen carefully. Step your left foot to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Good. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Go ahead and roll yourself up to standing, nice and slow. Good, for the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, thread your right arm under your left arm. Cross the elbows, bend the wrists. There's your eagle wrap. Feet are together, bend your knees, sit down low. This time, make sure it's your right leg that lifts over. Cross at your thighs, wrap, maybe you tuck, maybe you don't. Slow and steady, you're hinging from the waist. Bring the elbows down to touch your knees. Focus on one spot on the floor that is not moving, is not changing, and start to unravel your right leg. Shoot it straight back behind you. Keep that calm focus. Arms will unravel as well, so you're in one line from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. At the end, reach the arms long in front of you. Now exhale, bend your left knee, step the right toes all the way back, high lunge. If you don't like where your feet ended up, go ahead and change them. That's totally up to you. Exhale, 2 hands to your heart. Inhale, lift the chest tall, and now twist. Right elbow over the left knee. Yeah. If your back knee is lifted, keep it really lifted. So super engaged through that back knee. If you need to put your back knee down, that's totally fine, especially if the balance is a little bit tricky for you here. Flying away or binding is optional. Take your time. Inhale slowly back to heart center. Puff up the chest at the end. And exhale, release. 2 hands down. Step your right foot to the top of your mat. Beautiful. Inhale, take your halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Step back and pause. Upper push-up. Last big push. You can drop your knees down to the mat if you wish. We do a few extra push-ups. So exhale to lower halfway. And then push up strong. Exhale to lower halfway. And squeeze it out. Good job. Last one, lower halfway. Hold the posture. Don't hold your breath. Push it up. And one more time through your flow. Exhale with control. Inhaling upward facing. And exhaling back to down dog. On your next breath, please glide your right leg up and back. Let's exhale and sweep it through for a half pigeon. So your right knee will come towards your right wrist. Your left leg will stretch back long behind you. Take a moment to square your hips to the top of your mat, and then you can start to forward fold over your front shin and ankle. If half pigeon just feels like too much for you today, you can join me for a figure 4 stretch. So your right ankle will cross over your left thigh. You can reach through the little hole you've created and draw your left thigh in towards your body. The left knee can be bent or straight, doesn't really matter. Good. And then our bodies are getting a little quieter. Notice if your mind is getting a little bit louder. Can you use the stillness of your body to begin to engender some stillness inside of your mind? Continue to allow the breath here to be slow and purposeful. Continue to remind yourself that time spent being still can be really useful time. Wherever you hold on to resistance in this posture, whether it's your hip or your shoulders or your fingertips, can you bit by bit just start to unclench? Even if you don't get all the way there, can you just start to release? Can you start to let go? Wherever you are now in your breath, could you exhale all the air out? Fill up with a slow, deep inhale. And exhale, let it fly. A few more times like that on your own. Now slowly take your time. Begin to press yourself up and away from the mat. If there's an extra little stretch you'd like to take here, you totally can. And then we'll just meet on the left side. So from here, you can transition out by going through a flow. You can just step back to down dog. You might just switch your legs here on the floor, however you get into left side half pigeon or figure four stretch, whatever's best for you. As you're settling into the left side, do take care that your hips are squaring towards the front of the mat. So we don't want to be sitting all the way over to one hip or the other. You'll feel that as you keep your left foot in close towards your body, the pose may feel a little more accessible. As you walk your left foot towards parallel with the front edge of your mat, the pose may feel a little bit more challenging. You choose what works for you today. Consciously and deliberately coming back into your breathing. As your mind starts to wander, can you bring it back? Now I inhale. Now I exhale. Begin to scan your body and notice where there's still tension. Can you send the last few breaths right into that spot? Gently coaxing that tension away just a little bit at a time. Now together, let's exhale all the air. Filling up deep, deep breath in. And let it fly. Slowly, gently, start to move yourself away from the floor, please. We'll meet up in our last down dog of class. Take your time to get there. As you do return to down dog, bend your knees a few times, nod your head, sway the hips. Notice what's different about this last down dog of class. Notice what's the same. Notice what's so much a part of you that it will always be there. From here, let's transition to the tops of our knees. We'll take a camel pose. So knees are about hips width and distance. You're bringing your hands to your lower back with the fingers pointed down. Try and squeeze the elbows in towards one another. With your next breath, look up towards the ceiling. Lift your chest up. Then start to let your head go back. Let your upper back go back. Your middle back go back. You might be able to reach for your heels. If you're holding your heels, keep remembering to push your hips and thighs forward. So lovely, everybody. Stay in it for one more moment. Feel that heart crack open. And then gently reverse yourself out. Hands on your hips to come up. Go ahead and sit your hips onto your heels. And let's just find a quiet moment. Hands can rest at your heart or in your lap. Just letting yourself come back to you. Very normal to feel a little dizzy, a little mixed up. Also really normal to feel nothing at all. Can you listen? Can you feel? Beautiful. Start to swing the legs out long in front of you. We'll take a seated forward fold. Here, you want to get to a place where your spine can sit up tall, even if your knees bend a little. So if your back is really slumpy, bend your knees a little bit. Get your back nice and straight. Inhale, reach the arms high. Now exhale, dive your body down towards your toes. You might grab feet. You might hold on by your ankles. You might even just relax your arms along your sides. And gently, slowly, you'll roll yourself back up to sitting once again. Head is heavy, it comes up last. From here, scoot yourself a little forward on your mat, and then come to lay all the way down on your back. Go ahead and bring both knees into your chest and give yourself a nice tight squeeze. You can rock and roll here, a little side to side, a little back and forth. Good. And then let's go ahead and take the soles of the feet together, interlace your fingers over the toes and butterfly the knees apart from one another. You'll feel that as you push heel bone into heel bone, that helps to send your knees out and away. Take one more big breath there, and exhale to a happy baby. So knees will open wider than your shoulders. Your feet are facing up towards the ceiling. Yeah. There can be some playful rocking and rolling. There can be a chance to make some noises you would never make in a studio class, perhaps. Take advantage. And then from here, we'll begin to make our way into Savasana. So start to let your legs go long on the floor in front of you. Let your arms rest long by your sides. And close your eyes. Closing the eyes is a vital part of our Savasana. It's a chance to turn the gaze and the focus in. A chance once again to get quiet. Start to notice still where you're holding on to tension. And begin to let it go. So take off your thinking cap, relax your scalp. Soften your jaw, heavy the tongue in your mouth. Relax the front of your throat, the back of your neck. Soften the front of the heart and the space between your shoulder blades. You don't have to suck in your belly. You don't have to squeeze your butt. Let the meat of your thighs just spill off their bones. Spin some air into your knee joints. Ungrip the calves. Nothing to hold in your fingers, in your toes, or in the seat of your mat. All at once, body heavy and mind light, until at last you are sinking and floating in the same breath. slowly begin to deepen your breath. Maybe wiggling your fingers and toes. You can roll onto one side. And then use your hands to draw yourself up into a comfortable seat. From my heart to yours, I thank you, no matter where you were, for joining us this past hour. I have to believe that our vibrations are humming across the whole world. So thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you soon. Bye.